Hello and welcome. My name is Neil Thrussell, and I'm really excited to have Lisa Manyon on. This is first time in this scope, but I've had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing Lisa a couple other times. She's a writer, she's president of Right on Creative, and I'm really excited to say the author of her new book called Spiritual Sugar. So look for that in November, I think it was you said. So
Yes.
so welcome. So we'll take 30 seconds. What is spiritual sugar about?
Oh my gosh, it's a healing with love journey. So it's all about my journey facing mortality. It's actually part memoir, part self-inspiration, and part spiritual awakening. So it's a really beautiful gift to humanity, and it's meant to inspire people, especially individuals, to know that we can heal ourselves with love. And there are so many interesting modalities that we can incorporate into our lives to create our own spiritual practice. And I faced mortality and I came through the other side. I'm a cancer thriver, 5 years now, which means,
Woohoo!
yeah, which means officially declared cancer free and cured, which is beautiful. And I did this with surgery, but no chemo or radiation. So it's my story, and it's also inspiration for the world to embrace your own health.
Wonderful. So that in itself, just that story. Where would you define success in all of that? Is the success that you survived cancer? Is the success that you wrote a book? Is it the success that where would you define success in there, or is it all of it?
It truly is all of it, Neil, but success is being alive. Every moment and every second is a gift. And honestly, had I only listened to everyone in mainstream media, including the initial physician who had misdiagnosed me, I would not be having this conversation with you today. So, leaning into my faith, trusting my intuition, and really doing what I knew was in my best interest to heal, including using some non traditional modalities to supplement what we were doing with Western medicine.
So I noticed that I've done a couple of these interviews today, and I noticed there's some movement away from my book is called Chasing Success, The Trouble with Being Normal. So there was a little shift away from you took charge of your life and moved away from what traditionally said. Was that part of what you believe is your success by moving away from and rebelling against what the norm says?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know me well enough to know that that's 100% true. I always tell people to definitely question everything, challenge the norm, you know, challenge the status quo and break the trance and dig in and do your own research. And you can create success on your own terms, whatever that means to you. So just because you're looking at people that are out there marketing themselves with big shiny jets and things, some of them don't even own those jets. So let's just get back to reality and keep it real. And so for me, success has always been doing things on my own terms. That's why I created Right on Creative 19 years ago now. That's why I
Woohoo!
have continued to evolve the brand. So, when the book Spiritual Sugar comes out, that will be the first imprint on the Right on Creative publishing imprint, which is super exciting. And that's just another iteration and evolution of my business. So, being around for 19 years, it didn't always look the same. And sometimes I decided things needed to look different. And sometimes the creator decided things needed to look different because, for example, I thought my first book would be all about marketing with integrity, which has been my platform for decades, but that is not what was in the cards. This message of, facing mortality and healing with love is far more important than any other message right now because we all have the opportunity to take charge of our health. And if we can't show up our full selves being happy and healthy, then we're never going to be able to serve humanity.
So the younger version of Lisa, more than 19 years ago, would what would she have thought success looked like?
I don't think she had a clue. No.
And that's
No.
perfectly good.
Looking back, I just don't know. No, honestly, looking back, I feel like, before I started my business, it was having a really good job, working for the premier ad agency where I lived at the time, was success to me. I had a career that I loved. I was doing extremely well, but what I feel like really um, solidified success for me, especially success on my own terms, was when I chose to start Right On Creative and start doing business on my own terms and doing what I wanted and creating this freedom-based lifestyle so I can work and play anywhere.
What I heard is when I chose success on your terms. So was the younger Lisa driven by success from other people's point of view?
Absolutely. I mean, the advertising agency business is a different animal, you know? And so it's an arena where I loved it. I loved my clients. I loved everything that I did there. And I worked for several different agencies actually. But um, the caveat was I was doing business on the boss's terms. You know, sometimes the accounts that I worked with were dictated to me. And what I know about me is I like to make my own rules. I also like to know the rules and break them. So that's why I started my business.
And for those that are just learning about Lisa for the first time on here, Lisa is such a, a rebellious person with heart, saying that she took all of her advertising knowledge and said, screw you, because that's the wrong way, and went completely 180. Because advertising goes on the pain points of what gets us going. And Lisa said, why not work on the passion and the pleasure points? So that tells me a little bit that she's a little bit of a shit disturber.
Well, you know, I just call it like I see it. And we really do have to trust our intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. And that's what I learned when I was watching all the gurus teach, you know, copywriting and marketing and advertising tactics and techniques where you poke at those pain points and make people feel horrible about themselves so that you can swoop in like a big marketing hero and save the day. When in fact, you don't have to do any of that. When you meet people where they are with empathy and understanding, and you show up as the solution and you're able to create and share tangible case studies and results and testimonials that prove that you can actually say what you are, you know, do what you say you're going to do, then you can extend an invitation gracefully with no pressure whatsoever. So in essence, the challenge, you've got to know it, the solution, you've got to be it, and the invitation, you've got to do it. And you can do it with grace and ease and focus on passion points and eliminate all the pain points. And when you use this values-based challenge solution invitation framework, it also eliminates the need for overcoming objections, because I don't think people should do that either.
Wonderful. So if we take a look at whoever we picture as the pinnacle of success in any industry, any genre, whether it's a person being the best dad, the best mom, an athlete, what is it that you think is one of the things that separates them from my term of being normal, the normal person? What separates the ultra achievers from normal everyday people?
I think we follow our passion unapologetically, even if it goes against the grain, and we just show up and we're who we are. Because unfortunately, society has programmed us to be anything but ourselves. And that's just a disservice to humanity, because people want to know who we are. They want to know, like, and trust the real person. And, you know, the days of having to pretend to be perfect, any of that, that's over. It's just over.
Oh, Tina just jumped on and left us a message and said, love your approach, Lisa.
Oh, that's so nice. Hi,
Yeah.
Tina.
Yeah. So where do you where if you were going to say, by the sounds of it, we need plans, and if you were going to say for Lisa to set up that in 10 years from now, if you were to define what you want to look forward to be successful, what would you want as a marker for your success in 10 years?
Honestly, just to be happy, healthy, and alive and taking the very best care of myself. Once you face mortality, I assure you, everything else is inconsequential. It does not matter. What matters is being happy and healthy and doing what you love and showing up and breathing every day. Seriously, that's it.
And for our listeners and viewers or our audience, that sounds so simple. But it's how do you let's just shift. So how would you do this? What would you recommend to follow that for people to follow that every day? What's some of the things that you do to 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 live that life?
Sure. Well, number one, commit to yourself because I guarantee that most people watching right now are on autopilot, are not taking the time to spend as much time in nature as they need to fuel themselves with really uh, pure food, to get out in nature and breathe clean air. Things that we take for granted really became very important to me when I faced mortality. I realized that I had been taking so much of life for granted. And so, yeah, it does seem simple. And some people will say, well, that's great, but, I haven't faced mortality, so I'm not going to take this as seriously as I could. And then I'm going to say, great. When Spiritual Sugar comes out, just read it. You'll pick up some things that you'll be able to apply to create your own practice and to really commit to you. And that's what it boils down to, Neil, is that commitment to ourselves. And if we don't commit to ourselves first, we can't really truly be of service to others. It's a watered down version of ourselves being on autopilot and giving more than we receive, or burning the candle at both ends, or whatever it might be. And I'm not saying I haven't done any of that, because I have. I've been around for a while. But what I learned by facing mortality is that life is too short to stress out on trivial things, to deal with drama, or to allow people into your energy field that aren't actually uplifting you, your message, your mission, and your enjoyment of life.
So what I'm hearing underlying all of this is that you're living your life by choice as opposed to just going willy-nilly. Like you may energetically just choose the and go with the flow, but you're still living a life by choice.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about choice points, right? We can choose to live a healthy life. We can choose not to. We can choose to follow our dreams. We can choose not to. It's all about choice points. And what I wish for everyone listening to do is to choose you first, figure out what you really love and what you really want to do, and start doing it. And make sure that you're showing up for yourself and for your family and for your faith and for what matters most to you in life, whatever that might be.
And then I would just add to that, encourage if you don't know what the heck it is that you value the most, then that's the easiest salute. The easiest thing is spend the time to find out.
Yes, and values equal value. I always say that. And values also serve as a true compass to what matters most and to help you make better decisions in your life and, choose a better life.
Absolutely. And even though we're talking about success, and because it's such a generic and general thing, if you're listening and paying attention to all of this, if you follow a life by choice, you look after your health and your well-being, whatever you define as success is going to be there because you're living from choice. And by choice means if my parents wanted me to go to a university and I chose to go to it, it was still my choice. So I have to let go of the energy that you made me. I still chose it. So we need to let go and heal our past wounds and live here right now.
Absolutely. And success really is individual. I believe that we all define our own definition of success, if you will. And quite frankly, sometimes we haven't even slowed down enough to look at what that means. And we may just be on autopilot following what, you mentioned what your parents wanted or what society expects. And I just encourage you to really look into your heart about what it is that you want to do in this world, because I do believe that we all have very special callings. And sometimes they change and evolve over the years. So don't be afraid to try new things. And I thought I would be writing a book about marketing to begin with, but after facing mortality, I was given the title 2 years prior to the diagnosis, before I even knew I was sick, and told that I would write this book from the creator. So who am I to argue? And then I was put through the healing journey. So here I am. And that's where the path has taken me.
And it doesn't matter what faith, what your spiritual beliefs are, there are signs everywhere for you to take note. The subtle little, your intuition, you can say, it doesn't matter where you believe it comes from, your intuition will guide you if you shut the bleep up for long enough for it to work for you.
Yes, we need to slow down in order to speed up. It's a universal truth.
And if you go into Lisa's pages, either Right on Creative, Right on Creative, or her spiritual, you will discover she just doesn't talk the talk. She walks it, and she spends time slowing down and being one with nature. So thank you for walking your talk.
Thank you for noticing. It's my pleasure just to be alive and to be on this planet. And if I can inspire and help others to either build their businesses or strengthen their spiritual practices, I'm happy to do so.
Absolutely. So if we've talked about what success could look like, let's look at the diametrically. So what does success not look like? What is the opposite of success in your world and in your thoughts?
Yeah, that's extremely easy for me. I got really sick and I was diagnosed with cancer. So that was not successful. What was successful was my body finally started telling me that I was pushing myself too hard and that I wasn't slowing down enough. And even though I thought I was taking pretty good care of myself, it was clear with the diagnosis that I wasn't. And there's multiple reasons for any type of cancer diagnosis. Some can be genetic, some can be a product of the environment, and some can really be energetic. So there's a lot of things to think about there. And I would say, when I look at not being successful at that point in time in my life, I was not being successful at taking really good care of myself. So I just don't recommend that for anyone. I was on autopilot. That's how I can speak to these things. I was pushing myself too hard. I was eating too much. I was drinking too much. It's not a sexy thing to share. It's just what happened. So we do also have the opportunity to course correct and to change and to reclaim our health. And I think it's such a gift. I mean, we're spiritual beings living a human experience, and our body is very human, and we have to take care of that, right? While we're here. And if we don't, then what happens is we manifest disease. We get sick. Our bodies will tell us when we're not on the right track. So, and it's important for all aspects of no matter what kind of business you're in, no matter what it is that you want to do, to just really tap in and think, hey, am I taking the best care of myself so that I can really truly be of service to humanity?
So I don't know if you saw, but we have here, I'll put it back up. And so Naked Fit, I know who this woman is, says, thanks for the message, like Lisa. And she's actually coming on at 6:05 to talk with us. Hello, what the heck? Hit the wrong button, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what that was, but that's great. I'm excited. I'll tune in and listen to what Naked Fit has to say.
Yeah, she's a wonderful soul, and it's and she's just saying thank you. It's like her name is Dee, and she will be joining us at 6. So, oh my gosh, we are out of time. Is there anything that you would like to leave our viewers, listeners with?
I would just love to connect. If you want to connect about marketing with integrity, follow Right on Creative. And if you want to connect about spiritual sugar, follow Spiritual Sugar.
Wonderful. Thank you for being with me and with our viewers and listeners today, Lisa. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.